Hi everyone, welcome back to my Beach Angel Tarot Shop. I'm here to do a what is your love story for the month of August. I am planning on doing a you versus them. I'm not sure when it'll come out though, but I was guided. I haven't done this one for a while, but I was guided to do this one for our month of August. So this is what our love story is. I'm going to open with a Whispers of Love. So you can take this as a message to you from your whomever you're thinking about when you come to this reading. So let's focus on that in this moment. So the opening message for your love story for the month of August. I will also put a link below. And I want to thank everyone for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you like this video, please thumbs up it and feel free to share it with others. And that is our opening message. And it is, forgiveness, number 29. Nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments. So nothing can be gained. Nothing. You're just holding in hurt, you're holding in resentment, forgiveness. And this can be self-forgiveness. As well. Sometimes you need to forgive yourself, feeling like, you beat yourself up. If you got into the wrong relationship or saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing, you're going over things and analyzing them. Any of that energy is a need to forgive others and forgive self here. It's very beautiful. It's kind of funny. They're like, it's healing. Hell yes. It's like this yes in this card is like a hell yes to me. It's like, oh my God, yes. It's healing. And it's funny because I was just looking at this flame on this candle and how he's like ice blue and how the warmth is here in the card and it could be like melting all this cold energy, and then it's like this flame here and the coldness of this scene, but it's healing. It's like there's going to be, I feel there's going to be a lot of candle heat, fire energy coming in on a colder situation that's going to bring in. It's going to bring in forgiveness. It's going to bring in movement. I will put a link to this deck below as well. This is a deck by Kathy Nichols, and I will put a link to her Etsy shop. I do believe these are still for sale. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to say for sure. If they are, I will put a link to them below. Put a link to her Etsy shop or her contact information. All these love stories. So it says, who are you in your love story in the month of August, and what energy surrounds you? So this is you and your energy. What is surrounding your love energy for the month of August for yourself? And it is, oh my gosh, it is that, yes, it's like the burning fire, the burning flame. You're just like keeping that fire burning. It's like leaving the porch light on type of energy, right? So this is a yes. This is a passionate yes for you, for your love story in the month of August. So this is July, so if you're watching this early and there's nothing happening, because this feels like it's cold, and so did the healing one. It was like a colder environment, and it needed warmth. It needed, it needed that passion. It needed that spark, right? But I definitely feel here that in the month of August, this is going to be your energy. So this is the energy that you are in and or that surrounds you in your love story in August. So this is the energy that's surrounding your love story, and it's going to be that resounding, I like to say, how yes, this is just very full-on fiery energy coming here. It's also like the Ace of Wands, that spark, right? That spark ignites. So in August, the energy around you is this spark igniting. Where your partner stands in this love story in August, what's their character, how are they behaving? And it's self-reliance. So they may be acting or behaving in a very self-reliant way, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. This means they're not codependent, they're not being clingy. But this card, I love it because it also leaves a little trail. You know, you can see this little red scarf. So even though they're doing their own thing, they're going their own way, they are leaving. It's like a little popcorn trail, right? You can definitely kind of spot them going. You know, they're leaving a little trail behind them, a way to kind of find them or follow them. This scene is like the fall too, so this could be something that has kind of occurred in the fall. Maybe that, you know, they went their own way, you went your own way. There is a sense here of taking care of oneself, relying on oneself. It's very, very nine in its nature, vibration, very individualized. But again, like I said, it doesn't feel or doesn't seem, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing, because we don't want someone that's desperate. We don't want that kind of clingy, pushy, controlling type of energy, right? So I feel it's very healthy because they're riding a bicycle. They are in a fall scene. They're kind of letting things go. You know, they're releasing in a very beautiful way, energetically. So I feel this is very good in its energy, that what your partner is in. Even though they're out doing their own thing, it feels very good to you. It doesn't feel, you know, even if you're not in connection with someone, you can feel energy. You can feel desperation. You can feel clinging. You can feel somebody coming from a place, you know, that just isn't good. It feels icky, you know. And so I feel like this is kind of, that's an energy you've been in the past. This feels very healthy. This feels very, like I said, a letting go, a releasing, a taking care of oneself, but still leaving a little bit of a trail, you know, like, hey, you know, I'm still connected. There is still like a line here of connection, but not in a very unhealthy, heavy, clingy kind of way. So what or who is blocking you from moving to the next chapter in your love story? And it is Wildflower. It says, I'd like to look at these. I am a beautiful flower. So I just want to kind of see what it says to me. This is a block, a wildflower. It's like a wild energy, like a weed. Even though, because it's like a curveball type of thing. When we look at this in a unexpected too, like wildflowers, they just kind of grow willy-nilly. They may be where you don't expect to see them, but they are still a beautiful flower. So even what Spirit is saying is, even what you perceive as an obstacle, something that may seem like it doesn't belong where it is, it still holds beauty unto itself. That obstacle, even though it is an obstacle and it can be frustrating, just like a weed or a wildflower, just grows where it wants. It does what it wants to do when it wants to do it, you know, wherever it wants to do it. It is where it is. It is what it is, and it holds beauty. It still has beauty, whether it's a wildflower or a weed or whatever the heck it is. It is a beautiful flower. So what you perceive to be an obstacle is truly has its own purpose. It truly has its own beauty, is what Spirit wants to get across here in this place, more than even what is blocking you. So the block is actually something being where it doesn't, you know, maybe specifically belong. A wildflower, it's like a wild curve, like a curveball type of energy. It's like it is where it is. It's just growing wild. So some wild energy, you know, around the relationship, and that can be, you know, anything from freedom to just full out being, you know, kind of crazy wild energy, you know, that type of thing too. So whatever you sense in that way that is feeling like an obstacle to you, is truly beautiful, and it holds with itself its own beauty and its own blessing. I'm trying to, there's another feeling that wants to come up here, like trying to describe the feeling of the wild that's coming up. It's like it could be not having boundaries, not being able to contain something, not being able to keep something from doing something very liberating, something outside of, like having a little or no control as well. So that could be some of the energy some are experiencing, having little or no control over the direction that the relationship is going, or the connection itself, you know. That can be, but Spirit is wanting to point out that it holds its own beauty, and even though you perceive it as an obstacle, in reality it has, you know, it is beautiful, and everything is where it is meant to be, and where it's supposed to be, and how it is supposed to be. The previous chapter of your love story, what has led up to now, and it is frozen, which, you know, we saw that back here, but keep in mind in August, what is around this, even though you may not be feeling it yet, is the heat, that light, that candle, that flame, that spark is igniting. So what led up to now is a frozen landscape. And it can be because of this cage. You see two birds in this cage. So someone may be free. Maybe the masculine energy is free and the feminine energy is caged, or vice versa. Or there's something that is not, liberated in this relationship. But there is a sense of, the landscape became cold. It became barren. It became, frozen. Wintertime, things kind of just are quiet. They're, in a more slumbered energy and a colder energy. So that is what is kind of led up to now for whatever the reason. And I feel it could be someone's sense of freedom or liberation or inability to connect. One may be a higher vibration and one be a lower vibration vibrationally, or may literally be at a physical distance too, just unable to reach each other or to even connect. Like, how would a deer or a buck connect to a bird? I mean, they just don't, they're not, the same species. They don't relate to each other. There's the word. There's no relating, and so that could have created, like they may want to, but they don't know how to connect. They don't know how to relate to each other. This doesn't even necessarily need to be a bird cage. It almost looks like it could be a bird feeder. But I feel more like this is what led up to the previous chapters. You guys just can't relate, maybe in a way of communicating, or just totally different species, and just like wondering how the heck are we going to, kind of come together when they're a bird and I'm a deer or a buck or whatever. They just don't mix. They don't fly in the same flock, right? They don't kind of do the same. This one's walking, that one's flying. How can we do this? Yeah, so that is what's led up to now. Where are you at in your love story present time? So where are you right now in your love story? And it is Nature Boy. So I feel like connecting to your own nature, getting back to yourself, down to basics is the words I'm hearing. So coming back to basics, really connecting to your own, your own nature outside of the relationship. Trying, if this is something that you couldn't relate, trying to force a connection when, you're miscommunicating and there's like all this wild energy and nothing's controllable, and that type of thing can take you out of who you truly are. It takes your focus away from you. And I feel like you've kind of like put that on hold, like seeing like the ferality of it, and you just kind of put it on ice for a while. And you're out, connecting with your own true self. Reconnecting to you is what I feel here. The next chapter of your love story, if you can move past the block in number 3. And the block, it is a block to you because this wild energy, it's like, where did this come from? Or, things may pop up. But there is beauty in that in itself. Spirit is saying, if you can see it for the beauty that it is, the obstacles and how it's making you grow, how it's making you come back to yourself, perhaps that's the message here. You can see that it's like kind of forced you to trying to get this connection to come into fruition and back to yourself. If you can get past that block, or just see it for the beautiful thing that it is, what it is giving you the time and space to do right now, where you're headed. So where will you be headed? If you're able to do that and see it in that way. And it is the healing that I saw when we shuffled, and this is beautiful. You're going to heal that colder landscape. You're going to come together, and the warmth of the two of you, just like we see them here. We see this blue face that's all iced, and then we see the warmth and the glow on her face, and she's starting to get her color back, right, in this card. And so that's where you're headed, if you can see it for what it truly is and what it has been. You're going to come to that healing. The heat's going to come back with this yes. And this is like a resounding yes. So this yes is so big. It may even surprise you when that spark like reignites and that connection comes back and the warmth starts to thaw, right? And you start to heal the energy with the forgiveness, right? Could be the fire, the heat that is what is needed here. And so again, there is, and they're kind of laughing. Spirit is laughing because there's the wild. You're going to see the wildflower. You're going to see the obstacle here, even in this barrenness. There's that little yellow flower, and that represents the obstacle is there. And so even amidst the obstacle, there's a realization of the beauty that it held for you to become back to who you are and be more of you and yourself. And so then you can come back together and really see things differently with a fresh eye, a new perspective of how even the imperfections have their beauty within a relationship. So it's kind of amazing here how this is unfolding. So the next one is the end of the love story just for August. So this is just going to be how things end up in August, and it is a mind blower. It's sort of like this. Yes, is a thinker. So this could be an air sign person, but this is representing just the end for the energy, and it's sort of like your mind's blown. Maybe like there's a total unexpected energy. Thinking, like I said, thinking about things in a different way, perceiving things in a different way, really trying to understand. It's almost like feeling like a hangman. Like if you're hung up and upside down for so long, it would kind of like blow your mind, like all the blood rushing to your head, and then it's like kapoo. So it's like, to me, seeing things in a totally different way, thinking differently about the situation is what I'm getting. Also, it can be someone sharing their thoughts with you because their mind's now open. They're letting that out. So I feel like by the end of August, someone may have shared their thoughts, shared their words with you where they had maybe held them in and not expressed them before, because we're seeing the purity of their thoughts here. And the yellow would represent the solar chakra, the willpower, the courage to get them out. So I feel like their pure thoughts coming out here is what you're going to have, and maybe yours to them as well, in the month of August. So I want to look in the undercurrent. What is our superpower for undercurrent? And it is soulfulness. So again, it's that sense of, kind of like, what was that last reading I did? My August Yemayai reading was very much that energy, and just really coming from the heart. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of thoughts and communication coming out, words coming out, being released. They're no longer keeping them in their head, you or them, or maybe both of you. But it's not to be analyzed with the mind, but it's to be felt with the heart. And so that's your superpower, is to feel this connection with your heart. I feel like there's going to be a lot of sharing of communication in August for those that are guided to these readings, but Spirit wants you to keep in mind that it's the feeling, it's the soulfulness, it's heartfelt. It's something that can't be analyzed with words. Your mind may talk you out of this type of love, but your heart truly knows the way, and it's navigating the way. So it's connecting to that heart and to your soul in regards to this person, a heartfelt soul connection energy. That's your true superpower. And like I said, even though things are going to be expressed and shared, it's really not, it's about not over analyzing, because when we're over analyzing and kind of like keeping our words to ourselves, and we can get caught up in fears, we can miscommunicate, we can see what's beautiful as an actual obstacle when it's really truly beauty, and Spirit doing what it does to help us grow into who we're meant to be, and then bring things back together. So everything is in its place and everything is on course. And so this looks like a beautiful reading, a beautiful energy. And so if anybody has any comments or any questions, you can put them below or contact me at my email. I will try to be better at putting all those things in my descriptions. I'm really bad. I just like to get them up on YouTube, and I'm just really rather busy. And so, but I can always be reached. So yeah. Anyway, angel blessings to everyone. Oceans of love.